Alrighty. Let's carry on where we left off. Is everyone making threats now? Jesus.
We can be pretty violent if we want to be.
Wait, hold on, while we're here. Right, there we go. Court will now reconvene. Has our witness, Miss Olga O'Reilly, recovered? Yes, Your Honor. Well, she's regained consciousness.
Perhaps we can hear her version of the events again?
That's the thing, you see, she's quite fatigued. You're looking a bit fatigued yourself, Mr. Payne.
Sadly, fatigue is insufficient grounds for refusing to testify or prosecute. The defense would like to request that Miss O'Reilly take the stand.
Very well. The witness will take the stand.
Perhaps you could repeat your name and profession? Or perhaps you'd rather admit that you're a poor liar and a poor loser.
Not. What the fuck?
Complete fucking change.
Name's Olga O'Reilly. That's the truth. I'm a pro dealer. People call me Olga Quick Fingers O'Reilly. Oh, really? Want to know something else? I'm not really Russian, and my last name sounds like oh really. There, that's the truth. I hope you're satisfied. Witness, you will tell the court what you really were up to that night. Fine, I'll talk. We had a plan, see? Let me remind you that you are currently under oath. Any further fabrications will have serious consequences. Fine. Like I said, I'm a pro. That guy, Smith, hired me to do what I do best. I was planted at the Bosch Bowl Club several days prior to the night of the game as a waitress. So you were in cahoots with the victim? Not that he needed my help. Smith is a well-known poker player in some circles. But winning wasn't the main purpose of this game. It was about destroying a legend, the unbeatable Phoenix Wright. Oh god. The plan was simple. Elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket beforehand, and then deal 5 aces during one of their games. When the hands were revealed, yeah, that don't look right. When the hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He'd then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. You swapped the cards. Exposed as a cheater and losing on top of it. It would have made a great double play. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Indeed. Getting caught red-handed at cheating would cast doubt on all of his prior wins. A 7-year legend destroyed by one little card. That was the plan.
Oh really, oh really. How droll. But it appears you made quite the mistake.
A mistake?
I agree, the trap was elegant. Yet, what happened to that planted card?
Hey, that's right. He's lucky, I'll give him that. You'd have to slip free from a trap laid by Olga Quick Fingers O'Reilly. Oh, really? The witness would be much cuter if she dispensed with the evil mastermind shtick. Cute? Who wants to be cute? I'm not cute. I'm bad. You hear me? Bad! When you're through being bad, perhaps you could testify to the court? Tell us about this trap and how it was sprung. That night I planted a card like I was supposed to. And Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him. But the planted card was gone. The trap failed. The next moment, Wright picked up the bottle and swung it. Marshmallow Bean is the cute one. No, I'm not. It wasn't me who hit Smith. It was that no good cheating defendant. A surprisingly frank testimony that still leaves us mostly in the dark. The trap was perfect, I tell you. Perfect! If that rotten cheater hadn't messed it up. Look who's talking. Well, the testimony, for what it is worth, is all yours, Mr. Justice. With the witnesses, with witnesses like her, who needs criminals? And with defendants like Mr. Wright, who needs prosecutors? Her fourth one sounds a bit odd. I'll press her on that if I can get to it. Jesus Christ.
Also notice that little quip, the little thing that Wright brought up before the end of the episode last time.
Wait, isn't that a little odd? What's odd? You searched Mr. Wright thoroughly and found nothing, which means he didn't cheat, which means he had no reason to strike the victim. Well, oh. What was that just now? I sensed something. Something wrong, Mr. Justice? No, nothing, Your Honor. What to do? Should I press her a little harder? Yes. Miss O'Reilly, you're hiding something. What are you talking about? You... Me? Quick fingers, O'Reilly? The defense will refrain from baseless accusations. I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. I did see it, honest. I saw it when Wright hit him. With my own eyes, I saw it. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? That witness, for instance, Miss O'Reilly, she would touch the back of her neck during certain parts of her testimony. Did you notice? Touching her neck, was it? Oh, this shit's trippy. Oh, what's going on? The sensation. It's coming into focus. There, that twitch. It's so clear. It's like I could perceive her habit like I couldn't before. Gotcha! Miss O'Reilly, perhaps you are unaware of this yourself? Unaware of what? Whenever you get to a certain part of your testimony, you touch the back of your neck with your left hand. My neck? So what? What indeed?
What indeed, Justice? I hadn't noticed anything of the sort.
When she says that the part of the testimony... Oh, hey, Dragon Lover, you just missed something trippy. She subconsciously recalling something. Her body reacts to the memory, and she touches her neck. I'm sure of it. A memory? Would someone care to explain what he's babbling about? This is highly unusual, but let's ask it to the defense. You claim the witness is remembering something. Maybe you have evidence of this memory to show us? Her habit is scratching her neck whenever she's talking about the moment of the crime. So what would remind her the most of the moment of the crime? Miss O'Reilly, whenever you recall the crime that night, you scratch your neck. I've noticed that happens when you think about the moment of the crime. There must be some reason behind this habit of yours. I believe the weapon that left an inerasable impression on your neck is this.
The weapon.
Yeah, the bottle. Oh, you saw? Okay. Whenever she talks about the moment of the crime, she touches her neck. And reminds us more of that moment than this bottle, the murder weapon. But something doesn't fit. If you were the only witness to the crime, why would that make you touch your neck like you were in pain? What's he talking about now? It was Mr. Smith, the victim, who was hit, not you. This is a cross-examination, not a cross-wild conjecture. The witness's habits, they're completely irrelevant.
Justice. I'll admit, I'm a bit confused myself. This is certainly a unique cross-examination.
I'll explain later. Just trust me. Now's our only chance to break her. Miss O'Reilly, please testify in detail about the moment of the crime. The very moment. Yet, I know nothing. We know you're not Russian. The witness will testify, please, now. Fine. He's the one who did it. I didn't let him out of my sight until the cops got here. Or there.
That's a lie.
Oh, hold on. No, wrong one. Miss O'Reilly, we have a record here that clearly contradicts what you said. It states that the police were alerted by the report from the defendant. Eh? And we know that the defendant left the room, climbed the stairs, and made the phone call from the first floor to the Bosch Bowl Club. So explain how you kept your eyes on the defendant when he left the room entirely.
Oh, that was the lobster.
All that effort and time wasted.
The man who picked up the bottle and swung it at it that night wasn't the defendant. Then who? You dirty cheat! Check his pockets, now! It's gone. The card's gone. You lose. Just then, Smith grabbed the bottle from next to right, and he hit me. You, oh, okay. When I came to, the victim was already dead. The victim was already dead. Is that it? That's why I couldn't reveal who I really was. If it came out that I was in league with Smith, I'd be a suspect for sure.
Well, now you're even more of one. Way to go.
Well, where does this leave us? But madness! This is madness! I'm dreaming! Must have been me who was hit with a bottle, and I'm imagining all of this. It appears our prosecution is at his wit's end, and frankly, I can't blame him. Mr. Gavin, what do you think about this turn of events? Mr. Gavin, sir?
I believe that, as a defense in this case, we are compelled to call Miss Aurelia a big fat liar.
What?
In which she would go to jail.
There were three were in that room at the night of the murder. The defendant, victim, and her. And she has a motive.
A motive?
Her plot foiled, the witness got into an argument with the client, Mr. Smith. And do you know the moment of that argument? Was murder.
What? I didn't. I'm no killer. It's a trap. Someone's trying to frame me. What tangled webs we weave when we practice to deceive. So tangled we catch ourselves in the process. Mr. Wright? Such a hasty conclusion. It's not like you, Christoph Gavin.
What are you saying?
Why not consider the other possibility? That there was another person in the room at the time of the murder. Right.
And you
Like
should have
Mr. Wright
said
was
something
saying
by
before
now.
recess. A single card was swapped into the victim's hand after the murder. And the one who swapped the card didn't know two colours of the cards were being used. A fourth person. Ha! This theory again. Your fourth person doesn't exist. Indeed. That's why I decided to bring this case to court. Here, where there's no escape and no chance of deception. The perfect place to catch the real criminal. The real criminal? And we were in luck. A clue to the real criminal's identity was kindly provided for us. And right at the beginning of the trial, no less. What? Apollo, perhaps you know what I'm talking about. Sorry. Remember what I said. The fourth person who swapped the cards made one critical error. He or she wasn't considered the colour on the backs of the cards. Right. But how could such an obvious mistake occur? The cards used for the last game were red. Yet, there is one person, here in our court, who thought those cards were blue.
Was
I
somebody
had that
fucking
impression
colorblind.
too. But why? Well, Apollo? Think you can figure out who it was? It's not me, I swear! Who is this fourth person? I don't always get put on the spot like this. Let's hear what the defense has to say. Who was it? Who thought the cards were in the final game were blue?
There's only one answer.
Wow, Christoph Gavin? As I expected. Your eyes and ears are as sharp as your hair. I was right? Christoph Gavin, you were the fourth person that night. Oh, of course Mr. Gavin knows the colours of the cards.
Unless he's colorblind.
How would he? As you can see, the photo of the crime scene is black and white. You can't tell which of the cards are blue, the ones on the floor or the table. But look, you can see the colours and you can see the colour in this photo. Yes, but when he said the cards were blue, it was well before this evidence came to light.
It is true the defendant was engaged in a game of poker with the victim. Yet it is only that, a game, in the purest sense. A competition, Your Honor.
A competition?
Yes, a test of wits, a silent clash of passion. Only the cards, their backs wreathed in blue flame, know its final outcome.
Well, Christoph? Mr. Gavin? Mr. Gavin, is something the matter?
No, nothing. Excuse me. It was just so sudden. Right. You aren't seriously accusing me, are you?
Oh, Christoph? You know, even I'd never take a joke this far. This has gone beyond ridiculous, beyond dumb. This is insanity. The defendant accusing his own defense attorney of murder? I assure you, I'm quite sane. But what possible connection could Mr. Gavin have to the victim?
Somehow he's forgetting that Ray was a lawyer.
I wasn't aware that I had a connection to Mr. Smith either. Yes, but Mr. Gavin and the victim had never even met.
You sure?
Well, what if they have? Huh? There is a possibility after all. They may have met that night before the game started. What are you suggesting? Is this the truth Mr. Wright was staying silent about? Well, only one thing to do. Mr. Wright, the defense would like to request that you...
The defense would like to request no such thing.
Mr. Gavin?
Testimonies must relate to the case. How could anything happen before the game of poker be related?
Because
boy.
the end result of the fucking game.
I'm not sure I'll follow Mr. Gavin.
As I explained before, the defense believes that Miss O'Reilly...
I am to assume you speak for Mr. Justice in this? He is the defense, not you.
Ha!
Yeah, it is quite a bit of a long case, this one.
For a first case, yeah, this is the longest.
Mr.
At this
Justice,
point in...
the matter of Mr. Wright's testimony is up to you. Oh, okay. Does the court, in your opinion, need to hear Mr. Wright's testimony? This was Mr. Wright's strategy. He was planning this all along, and I intend to see it through. Defense would like to request that Mr. Wright testify to the court.
Here too, Justice. You would betray your teacher.
I'm sorry, Mr. Gavin. This isn't about loyalty. This is about the truth.
Ouch.
Very well. The defendant, Mr. Wright, would take the stand, please. Oh, boy. That evening, Christoph and I had dinner. We sat at a table in this photograph. Shady Smith walked in 5 minutes after Christoph left. When the trap failed, Smith hit the waitress. The girl was knocked out cold, and Smith was uncontrollable. I left to call the police. When I returned, he was dead. Blood streaming from the cut on his forehead. That's when I made another phone call to defense attorney Gavin. Mr. Gavin, you were at the Borscht Bowl Club the night of the murder? I dine with him rather frequently. And he talked to the defendant on the phone directly after the murder? Quite against my will, I had to become involved in the murder. I thought I might be in need of a lawyer, so I called him.
You were planning this all along, weren't you, Wright? Just because you wanted to drag me into your little murder trial.
The only thing I want is the truth. As I did back then, and now.
I thought my office was doing you a favor when we took on your defense. It appears that I was wrong.
How can anyone fall for Wright's little tricks? He's known to fib and shit and catch you off and get you.
I suppose they
Oh,
somehow
no.
keep forgetting he was an attorney.
Little sister friggin' did a number 2 on the carpet. Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness.
Justice,
Sir?
he's lying, and you're going to expose him.
Understood, sir. Crazy just keeps getting crazy. Mr. Gavin versus Mr. Wright. This can't end well. Why can't I have a normal trial? Oh, trust me, you ought to have seen Phoenix versus
You in the wrong
Dahlia.
fucking game if you want normal trial, dude.
freaking Apollo should have been there when an exorcist happened. That was crazy. About this failed trap. This is the same trap that Miss O'Reilly mentioned. The plan was simple. Elegant, really. You see, we set up a trap of sorts. I was to plant a card in Wright's pocket hand beforehand. And then deal five aces during one of their games. And when their hands were revealed, Smith would call him out and search Wright. He would then pull out the planted card and the trap would snap shut. You swapped the cards, you dirty thief! You cheat, fuck it. Just like that, the legend would be dashed to pieces. Holy shit. Oh, do you know what? That would have been funny if there was one freak out in this. Yes, a harmless prank in a sense. It was by a quirk of fate that I happened to discover it. A quirk? I happened to put my hands in my pocket and found a card. The card she planted? Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was a 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might happen, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle. An empty bottle of grape juice? The murder weapon? So, no wine. Yes, I rolled it up and shoved it in. The color glass makes it hard to see. A battle of wits between the deceiver and the would-be deceived. That sounds like a terrific drama. The card inside the murder weapon. That's strange. Did the police miss it in their investigation? Maybe I'll take a look. Mr. Wright, the poker
Let's get into the court record now while we can.
Alright. What, you want me to look into the bottle?
Yeah. Huh.
Yeah, there's fuck all in that.
You don't look in. What's in the buff? It's clicking red when you are in the bottle.
I think it's the label. This bottle's completely empty. Yeah, there we go. Oh. Grape juice. How long has it been since I drank grape juice? Apparently, it's Mr. Wright's favorite drink. Oh, I wonder how it would go. It goes well with oh, whatever. I'm freaking Porsche. Hold on, let's see if we're missing something. God, it's like we're playing the it's like we're playing the fifth case again, isn't it? On the first game.
Yeah, that is a permanent thing from now on.
Yeah, I know. It's this is when they fully introduced the whole thing now.
Yeah, they reintroduced it, and
because the fifth case was a DS exclusive on the first game, and then they thought they put all the touchscreen and 3D stuff in.
There's probably seeing how people liked it, maybe.
Oh, it was good. It's just a shame they didn't use it in other bonus cases and other games.
Yeah, I'm just saying that it was probably like a test run of that mechanic to see if people liked it. Who knows? That's what would make sense to me anyway.
Wait, so hold on a sec. So there's nothing in it.
Well, yeah, that's not even a wine bottle.
Okay, so Mr. Wright, the poker head of courtroom number 3, approves of this battle of wits. Please revise your testimony with this new information. Phoenix, there's nothing in there.
Yeah.
Mr. Wright, if I may.
Sorry, dude.
Yes? I've examined the bottle, and I don't see any card in there. No? What, Mr. Wright? Surely that isn't all you have to say for yourself. I can't say that I know what happened to the card. I did put it in that bottle, however. Huh?
Perhaps a fifth person came and took it out. Oh, and perhaps a sixth person could have helped.
Mr. Gavin.
Okay, now that's just
Mr. Wright
attacking.
is your client?
That's just badgering the witness.
My apologies, Your Honor.
Somebody's a bit salty.
I won't have you disregarding our investigation
Disparaging.
either. Disparaging our investigation either. We looked inside that bottle. There was nothing. So what's going on? Is Mr. Wright hoodwinking us again? Or did the card just disappear? In any case, please continue the cross-examination. I'm afraid decisive contradiction is called for decisive evidence. Oh.
Push him harder, Justice. Break him.
Yeah, I wouldn't follow any of that.
Break that hat straight off his face.
It's just you and the witness in the ring. Go for the knockout.
KO! Do you know what? I wonder why Phoenix is a bum. Why is he not a defense attorney anymore? And where's Pearls and Maya and everyone? Why do I get the feeling we're not on our client's side anymore? Okay, right, let's see. For a bum, he sure has a nice beanie.
That sounds strange to me.
Hold on. What blood? What cut? I see nothing. God, I like it when it says objection so loud your controller vibrates. I don't think it did that in the other one. Mr. Wright, if I may. Yes? Take a look at this photograph of the crime scene. See the victim here? He's wearing a hat. I wouldn't think you could see blood on his forehead. Oh, good point. It's just that powerful.
Justice.
Yeah. You ought to remember, their finger points are almost powerful as well. It's a gust of wind.
Yeah. Just point! Ah! Dead.
Next time you point out an inconsistency, put a little more oomph into it.
Mr. Wright, can you explain this to the court? Ah, I forgot to mention something. I was the one who put that hat on his head. Eh?
What?
You? You put that hat on a dead man's head? He wore it through our entire poker game. After calling the police, when I returned to the scene, his head was in full view, shining bright, just like in this photograph. And
So he did out of respect.
do you know what? I don't want to sound disrespectful, but if you took this out of context, it looks like he's getting one off. I picked his hat off the head of the. Picked his hat up off the floor and put it on his head. Why did you do such a thing like that?
Respect?
All I can say is, I'm sorry, but that's the only thing I touched at the crime scene. So Miss O really didn't see it? It being the victim's, his head. I think not. She was out cold. I believe I was the only one who witnessed his head.
Ah, here we go again.
Mr. Gavin?
Ahem. Pardon. It just seems that our client is determined to lie his way through this case.
Hey, he's still our client, isn't he?
Technically, he's your client.
I believe that's enough of that.
Mr. Gavin?
The witness's testimony is more like a travesty. It's riddled in lies. I'm beginning to see how you came to lose your attorney's badge 7 years ago.
Well, you certainly have a unique way of treating your clients, Christoph. I never knew. Right.
I believe it was you who threw the first stone.
Mr. Wright, if you intend to ever tell the truth about this case, it's now or never. Don't be misled. I haven't told a single lie here. Eh? When I noticed the trap, I put the card in the bottle to dispose of it. And when I put the hat on the victim's head, let's just say I had a reason for doing that as well. A reason? That reason is right here. Your cell phone? That night, I recalled that I spoke with defense attorney Gavin after calling the police. Just in case, I recorded our conversation.
What's this?
Now that we're all here, I see no reason why I shouldn't play it back for the court. Oh dear. He's so sneaky, isn't he? Christoph, I seem to be in a bit of trouble.
What's this? Game not going well?
Oh, something like that.
The gentleman who challenged you, he turned out to be good?
He turned out to be dead. Someone hit him. Hard.
You mean someone cracked that flawless bone china plate? Or pate?
Wait, that kind of phone records? Yeah, this old cell phone records.
The old Nokia 3310, the best known for recording.
I think this guy,
I mean, the Nokia was made by a bullet company.
It's funny that Apollo Justice takes place in 2025. I'm not kidding. It takes place next year. And Phoenix still holds this damn thing.
Hey, look. A good phone is a good phone. The Nokia just can't die.
But yeah, there is a big time jump in from Trials and Tribulations to this. I forgot what year it was, but I think it's 5 years later. So we do get to see why Phoenix isn't a defense attorney and why he comes back anyway. He does come back.
Well, yeah, you can't get rid of the hood, dude.
Oh, yeah, it's you still.
It wasn't you, was it?
Me? Please. The cops should be here any minute. I'm in your hands, should it come to that. Bone china plate?
Pate.
A kind of kind of porcelain. Very smooth and shiny. I'm not plate, but pate. I believe he was referring to a certain gentleman's balding forehead. The court appreciates the defendant's discretion in not indicating my forehead. Wait a second. Something's not right about the phone call. So after Mr. Gavin ate dinner with you, he left with the Bosch Bowl Club? Most certainly. Then how did he know? When did he see this? Bone china pate. Oh, that's right. Yes, that was when I began to see my good friend in in a different light. Troubled, I returned to the crime scene. When I spotted Mr. Smith's head again, I realized exactly what was wrong. Well, Mr. Gavin, the stage has been set. Perhaps you would like to explain this to the court. Exactly how did you come by your privileged knowledge of the victim's head?
So this is your reason. The reason why you put the victim's hat back on.
Your point, Mr. Gavin?
It's come down to this, Hazard Phoenix, right?
Yeah, I do like it when where it's showing the gallery. They put more friggin' detail on the bloody faces now. Instead of it all being smudged.
Yeah.
Which is cool. Order! Oh, have order, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. I believe this court has been left with no other choice. Are you prepared to hear the defense attorney Gavin's testimony? Well, as the prosecutor, I... Very well. We'll break for 10 minutes. After which Mr. Gavin will take the stand for a cross-examination. Are we all clear on that?
Crystal clear, Your Honor.
Very well. This will be the final recess of the day. These games clearly had a lot to offer. They got a lot of quite things to offer in this remake. You can actually make your own little trial things now. I'm not kidding. They actually made animation sets where you can actually make your own little trial things now. There has been like called Objection LOL, where you can actually make your own things. That's where I made the Vanny shipping thing.
And let's not forget the whole Objection Funk as well that people have made.
Oh, that one as well, yes. Mr. Gavin and Mr. Wright are both in the judge's chambers. Who'd have thought that today would turn out like this? May I? Oh, hello, Trixie. I mean, who? That's crazy. Yeah, it is crazy. Huh? What? Oh. Hello, sir. Please pick a card. What's this all about? Is this one okay? Excellent. I have a message for you. The last hand is about to be played. You need a trump card to make it. A trump card? The card you have chosen is magical. Use it wisely, and the game is yours. That's all.
Well, that's not suspicious at all.
It's the blue attire, isn't it? when I first saw this character, I'm like, oh, it's Trixie.
The name was a lie.
And well, to be quite honest, I'm not going to say her name till we get to it, but it does sound like her name, but it's different.
And also a completely different personality.
Yeah. And Ace, what? Where do I remember that card from? And there's a splodge right there.
What is this? James Bond with a bullet hole?
If she were a fortune teller. Mr. Smith's hand has 3 aces, and Mr. Wright's 2. It is 5 aces in all. It is true, I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you. The missing 5th ace. Wait, this blotch of red. Is this blood? You have your trump card. Now it's up to you to cut the deck and draw the truth. My father's fate is in your hands. I know you can do it. This bloodstained card is my trump card for finding the truth. I fell deep into thought as my mind raced to understand what this all meant. That girl, I'd seen her recently, but where? That's when I made the connection. It's her. Just in a different colour. Wow. I'm alone.
I mean, makes sense.
Court will now reconvene. Defense attorney Christoph Gavin, will you please take the stand? Now then, if you would, Mr. Payne. Yes, Your Honor. Well, Mr. The witness state his name and occupation?
Is this farce necessary, Your Honor?
Believe me, far stranger things have gone on in this courtroom. I saw an exorcist once.
Fine.
Yeah, I saw
I'll
this
play
demon
along.
woman burn, and she was already supposed to be dead.
First, there's one thing we need to have made clear. How do you know about the secret beneath the victim's hat? By secret, I'm guessing he means the fact that Mr. Smith was bald.
Forgive my curiosity. What is it about this fellow's head?
Wait, why aren't the characters on the sides we saw them on? For it's perspective. It's so it always bothers me is when I think what she's talking about is when it shows the whole gallery. You see Payne on the left and Apollo on the right, but once we start seeing them, they're on different. It's because it's on different ends, Dragon. That's why. It's like a mirror effect. There's...
Your Honor, it seems to have an inordinate interest in it.
Objection!
Oh! I'm not alone now. Oh!
The classic theme is back.
Hey, the classic theme! I won't call it inordinate, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Wright? What do you think you're
doing, Mr. Wright?
Wow, things sure look different from the other side.
That's
You know what I mean,
doing.
Apollo? Speaking of looking from the other side, let's consider something for a second. I'm surprised they're using the one from the first game.
It is the one that everyone knows him for.
Because
Let's
they
be
know.
honest. It's whenever people think about objection, this is the theme that plays in their head.
I will say though, when it does the one in Trojan Tribulations, I just prefer the Dual Destinies one because it's more orchestrate and it just has that feeling to it.
I'm also going to bring this up. In the Phoenix Wright and Professor Layton, in the Phoenix Wright and for goodness sake, what is going on with the bit rate?
Oh dear. Bit rate's fine on my end.
No, it's
Yeah.
my end.
Oh.
It's fluctuating like crazy.
It just hates you, I guess.
The victim wore that hat
Okay.
all the... Oh, go on.
So, they actually played this theme in the Professor Layton versus Phoenix Wright crossover game.
Oh, yeah.
A very orchestrated version.
That's neat.
I'll look up a YouTube video so you can listen to it later.
The victim wore that hat all night, never once taken it off, except for that one man. Yeah, because he thinks he's fucking Smooth Criminal. Look at him, he thinks he's Michael Jackson. He freaking walked in there moonwalking, I bet, didn't he? And he did that bend.
Nah, he will trip.
The only thing he didn't bring is a Tommy gun and start shooting it everywhere. That one time being the instant where he was hit. Oh? When Mr. Wright returned from reporting the crime, the hat was laying on the floor. Mr. Wright picked it up and placed it on the victim's head. In other words, in order to have seen Mr. Smith's bald head, you would have to have been there in the hideout at the time of the crime.
In other words, I must be the real killer. Is that what you're trying to say?
Not bad, Apollo. Mr. Gavin,
I'm afraid that I haven't been entirely honest with the court.
What?
No.
What?
Oh, I assure you, I had the noblest of intentions. I did it all to protect my client, Mr. Wright. Yet, I'm afraid in the current situation, I see little reason to hide anything. Very well. Allow me to tell you the truth of what happened that night.
Oh, finally, you may begin your testimony. Tell us, how were you involved in the events of that fateful night? Man, could you imagine Sonic doing this?
There are
That would be
fanfics.
funny.
I mean, there are some fanfic. I mean, I wanted to do one of these, but I just don't have the resources, let alone anything. Sadly. So I don't think it will come into
Even the judge is getting
real.
bored of the shit. Like, why is it always my courtroom?
The rage I sensed in that man that night troubled me, so I returned to the club. I went down to the basement and peeked in through the little window to the hideout. It must have been right after the murder took place. The victim was dead, as he appears in the photo. A bald head, an unconscious girl, and Wright, holding a bottle in his hand. I sensed that was not the best place for me to be at that time, and so I left. That's when the call came from Wright.
So, you witnessed the murder?
For better or for worse, I missed the actual moment of the deed.
Mr. Gavin, may I remind you that you are on Mr. Wright's defense team? Your testimony is clearly disadvantageous to your client.
Disadvantageous.
Disadvantageous? Well, I haven't heard of that fucking word.
What else could I say? I'm standing on the witness stand after all.
So you are Mr. Gavin.
Hmm?
And you had to testify as you did. You had to tell them you saw the scene of the crime through that little window. Mr. Wright? You had to say that because that was the only probable window of opportunity, right, Apollo? Oh. Mr. Wright, the defense should do the cross-examination, not the defendant. Mr. Justice, are you prepared? Yes, Your Honor. Can't believe I'm going up against Mr. Gavin. This trial was getting weirder and weirder.
Come on, Justice. Try to break me. You won't.
Those were the only three at the scene of the crime?
Yes. As far as I saw, at least.
Then we're back where we started.
Oh, suddenly he's looking confident.
The killer was the defendant, Phoenix Wright. Who else could it have been? But why didn't you talk to the police?
2 reasons. First, I didn't actually witness the very moment of the crime. Second, my office was asked to defend Wright. Even after seeing what I had seen, I couldn't abandon my friend.
Friends like that who needs enemies.
There must have been someone else there at the moment of the crime.
Justice, I just said I saw no one. Not a soul.
But that goes against what Mr. Wright said.
Ah yes, this mysterious 4th person. Who would conveniently be the real killer, I suppose.
Glad to see we agree, Mr. Gavin.
Let me pose a question then. Tell me, what possible reason did the real killer have to swap a card in the victim's hand? Perhaps you can show us a reason why such a thing would be necessary?
How can I show something I can't find myself? Remember, Apollo, the card that was swapped out was the fifth ace. Fifth ace. Right. Well, Mr. Justice, the question is of why the killer would swap out a card has been raised. Can you point to a reason?
Yes, we can.
It's now or never. The defense would like to present the evidence to the court. Evidence showing the reason why a card was swapped out. Then go ahead and point out your reason, Mr. Justice. Why did the killer take the fifth ace? Why did the killer take the fifth ace?
He had to.
My reason is this. Is that an ace? Why, it's got blood on it. Right next to the spade.
What?
Oh god, he's angry. This is insane. Why wasn't I told about this? Why? Where's Nubby? Could this be the missing fifth ace?
Inconceivable. How could you? What are you doing with that card?
Well, that's the thing. Why is Mr. Gammon so upset? Oh, there's Nubs. I'm just a fishy car. It's just a fishy car from some fishy girl. Oh, it's Timby.
Excuse me?
Have you?
Damn
Oh,
right.
that card? Oh, it's mine. That is, I picked it up from the Borscht Bowl Club that night after the murder had occurred. I gave it to my daughter. Cards are her stock in trade, after all.
No. Impossible. Unacceptable. The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud.
A fraud? How could you be so sure? Perhaps no. Oh, and there's Rocky. He shows up now. I would think the only person who could claim it was such a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene, the real killer. Allow me to elaborate. What if this trace of blood was the reason? The reason for the killer to take the card from the scene of the crime? Where are you going with this? Take another look at this photo, and take another look at the photo and the victim's head. At the moment of the crime, his hat fell on the floor, and a trickle of blood ran from his forehead down to the back of his head. Couldn't a drop of that blood have fallen on one of the cards? I suppose. The killer then took the card to hide the blood.
Regardless, that evidence is non-permissible.
Oh?
Right. Regardless of how you wasted the last 7 years, you used to be a lawyer. You know what a serious crime it is to conceal evidence.
Oh, we can discuss the finer points out of our legal system later. What's important now is that I've answered your question.
What are you talking about?
You wanted to know why the killer would have taken a card from the crime scene. And now I've told you. That one drop of blood would have been decisive evidence, you see.
This is conjecture. Baseless.
Oh!
There's the point.
I assure you it's quite based.
What?
It's amazing, really, how a single drop of blood on a single card can lead us to the truth. It's quite simple. Well, Apollo? Wow, 5 years without doing any more of this, and he knows how to do that point.
I doubt.
I thought they said 7.
7.
Yeah, 7.
I can't. All right, 7 years then. Try picturing the scene of the crime in your head. Oh my god, it went all 3D!
Jesus, that's trippy as shit.
Showing
Remember,
the
this was
power.
on a DS.
Yeah. The power of the DS compared to a GBA.
Yeah, well, I don't think Apollo Justice came on the GBA. The murder took place in the hideout.
I said compared to a GBA.
Oh yeah. The body of the luckless victim was found at the poker table. And before the killer swapped a card out, there was a single card with a drop of blood on it in the victim's hand. Given this, there is one decisive problem with this scene. Well, what is it? Well, let's keep it simple, shall we? Given that there was a drop of blood on a card, whose position in this diagram doesn't fit? The victims? The killers? The witnesses? The second witnesses? Whose position doesn't fit with the bloody card? Well then.
Let's double check what it's they're asking for. Check the history. Given there was a drop of blood on the card, whose position in this doesn't fit the diagram? The victim.
Well, isn't the victim's position that's the problem? I don't follow your logic here, Mr. Justice. Well, look, the victim was struck in the head, sending him back in his chair. You think any blood would fall behind the body, not onto the table in front of him? Ah! Take a look at the photo again. If he bled in this position, the blood would fall on the floor, not on the cards.
Not unless there was some miraculous card behind him at the time.
Why, that's right. So, what does this mean? Incidentally, we were sitting in this swivel chairs. Swivel chairs? Oh man. Apollo, try turning the chair around. Wait. Oh. The chair was facing the other way. The chair was facing the other way? It would have to be. So, we have to assume that at the time of the murder, the victim's chair was facing away from the table. When Mr. Wright returned from the informing the police, which way was the chair facing? When I came back to the room, the body was facing as seen in this photo. Well, that would mean the killer turned the chair back round. Let's take the next step. Look at the diagram once more. We know now that the victim was facing away from the table at the time of the murder. But this creates another significant contradiction. Again? Let's test your reasoning skills again, shall we? Apollo, whose locations on this diagram contradicts our new understanding of the crime? The victims, the killers, the witnesses, the second witness, whose location creates a contradiction the victim is facing away?
Well, that one's pretty obvious, really.
What, number 2?
No.
Oh, the killer.
Yeah.
Wait, no.
Yes, because if he was turned around like that, how the fuck would he have killed him?
The victim was struck from the front, correct?
Yeah, because that's how
Indeed.
the imprint was made on his head.
Well, it wouldn't be too hard for the killer to hit him from the front, sitting where his indicator currently is. I don't think it'd be quite hard, yes. Yes, but you're saying what you're saying makes no sense. Why would the victim suddenly turn to face the wall in the middle of a game? I believe a significant reason will soon come to light. Sufficient reason will soon come to light. What? There's something in this diagram that makes far less sense, actually. Look again at the diagram. Apollo, if the victim was struck while he was sitting as shown here, where would his assailant be standing? Assailant. Try marking out on a diagram. What? But there's no room to put a mark where the killer should be. Alright, let's think it through and see what we find. We know the victim was facing toward the wall at the time of the crime. That's the only thing we know for sure. Try to forget about everything else. Where would the killer have to be standing? Okay, well.
There's only one place that would make sense if it was in front of the killer.
In the fucking
Right there.
cabinets.
The killer had to be standing, well, here. You get points for flair, but that's about all you get. Yeah, I thought I was onto something there too. I hardly need
Pain
to
in
point
the
out that
ass.
standing there would be impossible. The victim is facing a solid cupboard. Or are you claiming the killer climbed up the cupboard and hit him from above? Ha! It's simple logic, really.
Unless he was in the cupboard.
If this was the only place the killer could have been standing, then that means that at the very moment of the crime... Wait, I know. At the moment of the crime, the cupboard wasn't there. What, what's this now? I mean, that's the only explanation, right, Mr. Gavin? Your Honor, I have a suggestion for the defense. We should arrange to examine the cupboard in the hideout immediately. Bailiff, send a team up to the crime scene immediately. Have them try to move the cupboard. Your Honor? What? There's one more thing your men should look for. Please give this to the bailiff. Yes. I see. You do belong in the courtroom after all, Mr. Wright.
No
I'll
shit.
do my best. Well, let's forge ahead here while we wait. Look at the diagram once again. It's been changed. If the killer was standing here at the time of the crime, then this cupboard wasn't here. Which means... Apollo, try moving the cupboard. Thank you.
The cupboard was blocking the window.
As you can see, the cupboard was the problem. At the time of the murder, it has to have been as shown here. Now everything is in place to reconstruct the moment of the crime. Oh my! What's this? Oh, what is it now? Look at the diagram of the crime scene once more. It appears we found yet another contradiction. What I believe to be the final contradiction, in fact. Huh? Oh, dang. Notice something, Apollo? Our line of deduction is rapidly approaching its logical conclusion. Also, why is it look like those unfinished mortals? Now then, Mr. Justice, please point to the new contradiction indicator. Is the victim, the killer, the witness, the second witness? Okay. Oh,
Well,
boy.
there's only one answer.
Well, yeah. The second witness. Because he can't see out the window.
About this cupboard. Are we okay with assuming it has moved? Sure, why not? Well, if it was, something really doesn't fit. If the cupboard would be completely covered up the window to the stairs. Ah! That's right, someone standing outside won't be able to see in. Someone like Mr. Gavin.
Dun dun dun!
What did you just say?
Oh, is the coolest defense in the West losing his cool?
You don't expect me to play along with your little game, right?
It's only a game until someone gets killed, Mr. Gavin. And someone was, while the window to that room was blocked by a cupboard. So, Mr. Gavin, perhaps you'd like to explain to the court exactly where did you witness the crime scene from? Excuse me, Your Honor. Order! This is a court of the law and I will have order. We just now received word from our investigative team at the Borscht Bowl Club.
That was
They've
fucking...
examined the cupboard in the hideout, Your Honor. Oh? And what did they find? Well, Your Honor, it turns out there is a secret passage behind it. What?
Convenient.
Well, it was used for black market trades and such.
Fair.
Oh yes, I believe I mentioned something of the sort before. This is one of
Just,
the
oh
tricks.
yeah, that.
This is one of the tricks to the room many of our regulars know about. I do remember him saying something about that now that he mentions it. A secret passage is a handy thing when you're engaged in illegal goings on. Never know when you might need to duck away from the eyes of the law. So the room has a secret passage? Where does it go? The other side connects to the restaurant above. The underworld bosses could get away from the cops and enjoy a cold bowl of borscht, no doubt. Just like our killer. What the fuck? The hell is going on? You see where our line of simple deductive reasoning has led us, Apollo? Oh, I see it, but I don't believe it. The girl wasn't kidding when she said I needed this trump card for the last hand. At the time of the murder, the window was blocked, and the victim's hat was only off his head for a few minutes between Mr. Smith's murder and Mr. Wright's return from calling the cops. In other words, the only place anyone could have seen the victim's bald head was from inside the hideout. Well, Mr. Gavin? Come on, say something. Dare I ask what really happened that night? Actually, I think we can probably figure it out ourselves at this point. That night, for whatever reason, our killer had a date with Mr. Smith. A date with destiny. There he crouched, hidden in a secret passageway behind the cupboard, holding his breath, waiting for just the right moment. Then the chance came, and he took it. Miss Olga O'Reilly was out cold, struck by Mr. Smith. But his time was soon to come. Mr. Wright went upstairs to call the cops, leaving Mr. Shady Smith alone in the hideout with the unconscious dealer. Then our killer stepped out of the secret passage and into the hideout. The victim must have heard the cupboard sliding aside. When he fucking turns around. I don't know why that made me laugh. After the deed was done, the criminal must have seen the blood on the card. He would have, of course, realized the need to destroy the evidence. That single spot of blood told the whole story of the crime. We're gonna get an over-the-top outburst. Yeah, we always do. Too bad for him. He didn't linger any longer in the hideout that night. If he had, he might have noticed the cards on the floor. And then the fact that they had there, and the fact that they were all red.
Yes.
Oh dear. Well, it seems this trial has taken yet another turn. I'm truly sorry I had to see this day come, Mr. Gavin. Mr. Gavin? Mr. Payne? Yes, Your Honor? The prosecution will continue its investigation. As for Mr. Phoenix Wright, the defendant here is hereby cleared of all suspicion. Believe me when I say that I don't believe this is happening, Mr. Gavin. But I'm afraid circumstances call for me to issue a warrant For your arrest, immediately. Oh, Christ.
Oh, no need to apologize. I'd rather enjoyed myself.
That's weird.
It's not every day you get to witness the legendary attorney's dirty tactics firsthand.
Your point, Mr. Gavin?
Frankly, Your Honor, I'm shocked. That a person of your caliber would be taken in by such a low-grade parlor trick.
Excuse me?
The defendant is cleared of all suspicion. This is hardly the time for jokes, Your Honor. Mr. Wright hasn't proven anyone's guilt or innocence here. What he has done is used his illegal evidence to put the blame on someone else. And not just anyone else, but me, his own defense attorney.
Illegal evidence? Let me ask you, Mr. Gavin. Is there still any reason at present to suspect me of wrongdoing?
Of course. This bottle, for instance.
The bottle of grape juice Mr. Wright was drinking?
How do you intend to explain away the fingerprints on the murder weapon?
They were fucking drinking it. And it was
And not-
right next to him in a crate.
And not just any fingerprints. Am I right, Mr. Payne?
Actually, yes. The fingerprints were on the bottle were, upside down. I seem to recall this being an issue earlier.
The court in this case demand an explanation. I can think of only one reason why one would hold a bottle upside down. And that is to hit someone with the bottle, or bottom of the bottle. Well, Your Honor?
I'd just like to point out that was one hell of a good glass bottle to not shatter.
To be fair, glass bottles are very thick.
Yes, but I mean...
I see how the caught fish squirms to last. Well, Apollo? Yes. Your boss seems awfully concerned about this bottle still. But I'm sure you can come up with a suitable explanation just like that. Yeah. Just like what? Why would anyone grab a bottle upside down other than to go... Don't let him trick you into thinking his explanation is the only legitimate one. Is there really another? Take another look at the court record. I believe you'll find a simple answer there, in plain sight. How about you just say the answer is in plain words?
Because he's not supposed to?
It would be hasty to deliver a verdict with unanswered questions indeed. Well, Mr. Justice? Mr. Gavin said that the court in this case demand an explanation. Oh, don't worry, Mr. Justice won't leave until justice is done. Perhaps the defense would care to enlighten the court. What evidence do you have to explain why the fingerprints on the bottle were upside down?
The picture after the cell phone.
Yeah,
The
that's
balls
it.
were to his side.
It's actually easier to show you than explain, Your Honor. Place that bottle on the floor next to your chair. Excuse me? On the floor? Yes. Now reach down and pick it up. Without getting it off your chair. Ah!
Da-da-da-da.
See? You can actually go to pick up by its neck. With your fingers upside down. Look at this photograph taken on the night of the murder. The defendant, Mr. Wright, sat here, playing piano.
I can smart.
Bottles of grape, yes, Flea. You know, bottles of grape juice on the floor to the side of his piano bench. You have naturally picked up the bottles upside down several times. Wow, well, I can't believe it was that simple. I recall our dinner evening, Christoph. I was drinking my usual juice then too. Basically, you used the bottle on the table to do the deed. But then you must have remembered. So you went and picked up one of the bottles from under the piano, and you switched the bottles. You took one of Mr. Wright's bottles and made it look like the murder weapon. Hello, train unit. Order. What have you to say about these charges, Mr. Gavin?
I'll have a number 4 with a number 5 large. Fascinating. So this is the legendary attorney's famed tactic of misdirection.
What?
You claim that I switched the bottle? Where is your proof?
Proof? Well, that's
As I thought, more baseless conjecture. I'm afraid your bottle of proof is quite empty.
I want to be so sure about that. Your Honor, when you initiate the investigation of the hideout earlier, do you recall I requested an additional investigation? Yes, I have your memo about that here. Retrieve the bottles from under the piano at the Bowl Club. And here's one of the bottles in question.
And what are you going to... And what? Are you going to dust that for fingerprints too? I would be surprised if any were on that, but his.
Mr. Gavin probably wouldn't make such a novice mistake, true. That bottle won't bear a trace of anything. Say, Apollo. Yes? Why didn't you go ahead and examine the bottle? But why? Just humour me.
That serious face on it
Mr. Wright.
as well.
That bottle will solve this case once and for all.
So look up, don't fucking question me.
What? That's some bottle. Why is the defendant objecting? Because it's oh, now it shows up!
It was the wrong bottle before.
Oh, it was the wrong bottle, okay. There's something inside the bottle.
The card wasn't
What's
in
this?
the murder
We're
weapon.
not doing math.
It
Do
was a
people not
different
learn
bottle
to not
entirely.
accuse Phoenix of shit? That card, it can't be.
That card. It can't be.
Well, to be quite honest, someone accused Edgeworth, and look where he ended up. Oh wait,
Unpleasant woman.
record that unpleasant woman's testimony for a moment. Miss Olga, oh really? Yes, our little swindle. What?
Discovered it.
Okay, well that's Russian. That night I planted the card like I was supposed to, and Wright lost the last hand, just like he was supposed to. Then Smith searched him, but the planted card was gone. The trap failed. Wait, this isn't... You're telling me that this is the planted card you disposed of? The one you mentioned in this piece of testimony? I happened to put my hand in my pocket and found a card. You notice how wacky this is a first for a case?
For the first case, yeah.
It's usually simple, except when we had Dahlia Hawthorne. But this is just bonkers.
I mean, Wright's first case was a murder.
Yes, I snuck a peek at it and found it was a 5 of hearts. I had a feeling something might have happened, so I disposed of the card before the game. Disposed? Where? There was an empty bottle of grape juice I had been drinking right beside me. I threw the card inside the bottle.
Dun, dun, dun.
The 5 of hearts. This is the card. The bottles were swapped. And the only one who could have done that was the 4th person in the club that night. You, Mr. Christoph Gavin. Oh dear. Oh dear. Oh dear.
The poor lobster. Why had nobody cleaned that up? Yeah.
I like how that was still on the floor.
That poor dead lobster. It's just fucking there.
That is all.
Lobster ain't getting paid enough for this.
Is this your idea of revenge, Phoenix Wright?
Revenge?
Revenge for the events that took away your attorney's badge 7 years ago.
Oh dear. My past is like my logic, straight and true. Nothing's changed. All I did was point the finger of justice in the proper direction.
Fine. I'm glad we could have this little tete-a-tete, right?
This is insane. What about me? Don't I get to prosecute anyone?
You never got to prosecute anyone to begin with.
Oh look, it's Nubby. I believe this time we've finally come to the end of our trial. Mr. Payne, do you have any report for us on Christoph Gavin? He's admitted everything. We're processing his arrest now. I see. Still, one has to wonder why he would do such a thing. He didn't even have the connection to the victim, did he? None that we know of. Mr. Wright, have you anything to add? I'm afraid I can't shed any more light on the matter. About this victim, Mr. Shady Smith. His occupation was listed as traveller. An odd profession to be sure, and that's all we know about him. I arrange a follow-up investigation, Your Honor. Oh, good. Mr. Wright? Yes? 7 years and you still haven't lost your touch. Christoph Gavin was a man with much significance for me, both as a friend and a lawyer. He was extremely talented, to be sure. I needed two things before I could confront him. The first was a place where no injustice would be tolerated, this courtroom. The second was a man who would tolerate no injustice. In other words, a defense attorney. You, Apollo. Me? This is a dark time for our legal system. A twisting of justice brought on by our own initial trial system. We have to set it right. Mr. Wright, our work lies ahead of us, and I, for one, am looking forward to it. Well, this seems like a good time to announce a verdict. This court finds the defendant for Mr. Phoenix Wright
not guilty.
Confetti in the courtroom! Well, that was long. Court is adjourned.
Always was in the Apollo Justice game.
Thanks, Apollo. You came through, just like I thought you would. I'm pretty sure I didn't do a thing in there. It was you who cornered Mr. the killer. I couldn't have done it by myself. You sensed it too today, didn't you? Your ability. Ability? Yes, a sensitivity I lack. You'll come to understand it soon enough. Wait, I wonder if he means... I have one question for the witness then. You say you saw the moment the defendant hit the victim. Is this true? Of course it's true. What's this weird vibe I'm getting? What? What was that, Mr. Wright? You have to find the answer to that question yourself. The answer. Right. Today was full of questions without answers. Most of them about Mr. Gavin. What possible reason could he have What possible reason could he have commit murder? Perhaps you'll learn that in days to come. Huh? Wait, you don't know? Do you? Well, this locket is the key. Huh? Oh, that reminds me. I met the girl whose picture is in your locket. Your daughter, right? Well, that's right. She's my daughter. You know, you were right about this locket. Eh? I took this off his neck and the night of... Yeah, I took this off his neck the night he died. It looks like our dear Russian scam artist saw me. So the truth is, this locket really did belong to him. Wait, well, that's perjury! You testified. You said that locket was yours. I said no such thing, actually. Huh? I merely said that it was a locket with my daughter's picture inside. A subtle distinction, but a distinction nonetheless. And it's the truth. Wait, but then why? Why was the victim wearing a locket with a picture of your daughter inside it? Sometimes the straightest path to the truth isn't the best one. Give it time. You're still just getting started with your career. Speaking of which, I may be out of a job. I work for Gavin Law Offices after all. Still can't believe I just saw Mr. Gavin get led away in handcuffs. Apollo? Yes? How about coming to work for me? Eh? You mean at the Ryan Co. Law Offices? I mean, there's not a single attorney in my generation that doesn't know it. I can't imagine that to be true, but... Wait. But didn't you... You're not a... Oh, I turned in my badge. Yes, I'm not an attorney anymore. That incident 7 years ago. That legendary trial. And at the middle of it all was one man, Phoenix Wright. The case reached its sad conclusion, and he left the law for good. Have you ever thought about coming back to the courts? I'm not qualified to stand in the court of law, I'm afraid. But didn't you notice in today's trial? There was a single piece of forged evidence. Forged evidence? What are you talking about? I'm talking about evidence that shouldn't have existed. An oldie magician's trick. One piece of evidence struck me as odd. It's true. It just seemed, well, too perfect. I bet this was the forged evidence. Oh, fuck me, what?
There's only one thing. What fell so perfectly into place? Trump card.
Oh, the bloody A's. You mean this, don't you? I got this from your daughter, Mr. Wright. Yes, that card could have been found out in the crime scene. Why? Because the killer took it with him when he left, leaving the wrong card in its place, luckily for us.
The court can't accept this evidence. It's a fraud.
A fraud? How can you be so sure? I would think the only person who could have claimed it was a fraud would be the one who took the real card from the crime scene. The real killer. Yeah, what about Lego? My verdict was already handed down 7 years ago. Then, you really? Yes, I forged this card. One look at the crime scene should have told you it wasn't real. But you can't do something like that and call yourself an attorney.
He didn't.
He's calling themselves an attorney, Apollo. So it's true. The rumor is true. 7 years ago. None of that matters much now, does it? No. Ah!
I love the fact that he just punched Phoenix Wright in front of two policemen.
They're just like,
There are the statues.
okay.
I punched him. It's your story from here on out, Apollo. Perhaps I can help you turn the next page. My office's address. Drop in if you like. It's alright. Oh, about your uppercut. Try yelling, "Take that," next time. I find it packs a little more punch.
He should know he was in Marvel vs. Capcom 3.
And Apollo, thanks for today. I had a good time. And with that, Mr. Wright walked out the door. And that's how my first trial ended. And a lot of mysteries went unsolved. And at that time, I had no idea they were all related. Every mystery that day, connected by a single thread of logic. I'll find that out soon enough. My name is Apollo Justice, attorney at law. And this is how my story begins. Oh, I guess she doesn't care.
What?
Well, trial 1 is done.
Oh. Turnabout corner.
That's a weird corner. As long as we draw breath, the wheel of fate turns. Spinning big crimes and little crimes together. And when the wheel stops, you die.
Well, that was wacky. Squeaky marshmallow. 2 months have passed since Mr. Gavin's arrest. My first trial, and I lost both my mental and my job. Yeah, I'll admit it, I was screwed. But when I hit bottom, I told myself I'd never come here. Honest. Here being the legendary Wright and Co. law offices. Okay, Justice, no time to stop trembling. Ah, you must be here for the interview. Right this way. Huh? Hello there. You found the right place. Welcome. What's with this girl? Well now, shall we begin? Begin what? Right, first things first. Any special talents? Talents? Yes, well, you must have at least one. Well, I guess. Defending? Defending. An unusual talent, but it'll do. With a little jazzing up, of course. You think so? Well, let's give it a go, shall we? Huh? Go ahead, show me. Defend. Just give it all you got. Don't hold back now. What are you talking about? I can't just defend here. First lesson. A professional can perform anywhere. Oh, thanks. We want people to be laughing with us, not at us. Oh, thanks. But I'm not sure why they should be laughing at all. What? What exactly do you came here to do? What? Defend? No? Oh, excuse me, but do you know where you are? Huh? The Wright and Co. law offices, right? Oh, I was afraid of that. Don't worry, you're not the first. Look, what's going on here? Who are you? I came here to meet with the person in charge. Well, you've apparently made no fewer than 2 mistakes. Mistakes? Well, I got a call from Mr. Wright this morning. Perhaps you should go and read the sign out front again. What's there to read? Look, it says right there. Oh. What does it say? Right talent agency. Welcome to the Right Talent Agency, where you've always come to the right place.
Okay, that's something that's different from the original, because it used to be Right Anything Agency.
Yeah.
And they probably changed it then. I'm Trucy Wright, CEO. I'm a magician. It all came flooding back. The trial. That girl. Hello, sir. Please pick a card. That's right. She's my daughter. Trucy Wright? Yeah, check out our flyer. So, what's your name? Apollo Justice, attorney at law. Oh wow! Look at the freaking icons.
Yeah.
If I had a hat like that, I'd be tipping it to everyone.
Okay,
So,
I just want to bring something up. Does anyone know about the little fan project, Phoenix Ryan Cross My Little Pony?
yeah.
They did something rather clever. Because at the end of the original, Phoenix came back with a blue hat from a certain Trixie. And then you find out in the newer versions, the newer videos that have come out recently, in the first episode, you find out that same hat was given to Trudy here.
Oh.
So if you want to go by the like the fan theory, that little fan canon, this is actually one of Trixie's hats. If you want, because you know, we have a pony here, we might as well go with that kind of logic.
Yeah, and you see why I see Trixie sometimes.
Oh, the blue. Same
So,
blue color as well.
Is this really a talent agency? You bet. Daddy started it 7 years ago when he quit law. Of course, we only have 2 people signed up right now. 2 people. Does that include you? Trucy Wright, magician extraordinaire. I've done a lot of stage shows. Oh god, hold on. I've done a lot of stage shows, paid too. I'm a professional, you know. Right. Promise you come to one of my shows, okay? Let's see. Oh, and the other person our agency represents is Phoenix Wright, pianist extraordinaire. Your dad, in other words. Didn't he say you couldn't play the piano? Our agency doesn't see that as a problem. Why? There are many magicians who can't do magic. At least you're optimistic. I'll give you that. So you're his Phoenix Wright daughter? Well, that's right. After Daddy quit law 7 years ago, I promised I would keep him fed. So I'm kind of his sugar daddy. Get it? No.
Don't say it like that. That's
I'm in charge of his whole office too.
no.
How old is she? Saying that.
No, hold on.
She's
no.
15. Pretty amazing for a young lass. Pretty amazing for a young lass for 15. Wouldn't you agree? 15? How old is Mr. Wright? Daddy? Oh, he's 33 this year. I'm sure there's a good explanation. I hope.
He'd be 2 years older than he would be next year.
How old are you?
I'm currently by the end right now I'm 29, but at the time of this date, where this episode is going on, I would be 31.
Goodness. About Mr. Wright giving up law. It It was because of that incident 7 years ago, wasn't it? You know about that? Not the details. I remember the news though. It was a big deal. Well, so I hear. I was too young to understand what was going on. I'll ask Daddy about it next time I get the chance. Daddy, right. That reminds me about Mr. Wright. He gave me a call this morning to come in. Daddy's not here right now. He's in the hospital. The hospital? Yeah, he's on a strict bed rest until he gets better. What? Okay, which hospital's Mr. Wright in? I'll pay him a visit. Oh, the Hickfield Clinic. It's quite close. Right, well, I'll be going now, and give this showbiz gig some thought, okay? Wait, I'll go with you. Wait, I want to examine the whole place. Oh, god damn it, I'll do it in a minute. June 15, oh god. Wow, look at all these flipping Jesus.
CDs and DVDs.
So, this is Mr. Wright's hospital. Oh, not you again!
Yes, he's back.
Visitors, are you? Yeah, are you the doctor? Yep, Dr. Hickfield's the name. Good morning, Doctor. Oh, hi there, Trucy. Cute as ever. Oh, fuck off. Is this Daddy's room? Oh yeah, except he's gone for a morning checkup. Be back soon. How are you, Miss Trucy? Got any places you'd like examined? Doctor, the nurse was looking for you. Why, visit the daddy? Oh, the cutest little thing in town. Guess I'll be off then. Yeah, later, Trucy. Wow, what an odd bird that guy was.
Yeah, one examination clerk who said to having on a list of his own, I guess.
Good morning. Didn't expect you so soon, Apollo. Mr. Wright. Can I go back a minute? Thank you. I want to examine the place. Oh, wow. So it's just so flipping big, it even moves the screen a bit.
Yeah.
An old sapphire, sepia tinted photo of man in a silk top hat. That's my favorite magician. I want to be just like him someday. Sure, nice. I guess it's good to have a role model, even if he's got to be well over 100 years. How rude. There's all sorts of strange whatever sitting on the table of the piano. Those are my magic props. Practice, practice, practice. Professional never leaves their weapons far from reach. But you can't play the piano with all this junk on it. Oh, no one plays it here anymore. Anyway, and the neighbors complain. I guess Mr. Wright really can't play. Hey, look, it's Timber's favorite guillotine.
Yeah.
Whoa, that fork is
It's
floating.
baby's first guillotine.
Why do you have a plate? Why do you have a plate of plastic spaghetti here? Oh, that's... That right there is the whole reason I became a magician.
Because
Do tell.
the fork is floating?
I saw a plate just like that in a restaurant once. The flowing fork looks so real. That's when I knew. Someday I'd make I make magic more amazing than that spaghetti. That's one of those hula hoop things everyone was crazy about way back when. Really? I had no idea these were that popular. I'm not so bad with one myself, actually. I'm still learning. So you can really make someone levitate with it? Show me. Huh? Oh, I have no idea how. It's just a normal hula hoop, isn't it? That table doesn't look very sturdy. You never seen one of these? It's a magic table.
Nah.
So, like,
Really?
you make this teapot disappear? So you might think, but that's not it. Before your very eyes, the contents of the pot change. From Earl Grey to Darjeeling? I don't know. Kinda hard to see the difference, I'd think.
So she has an assassin's teapot.
Don't
Got it.
touch Mr. Charlie. Mr. Charlie? He's been in this. He's been in this office much longer than I have. Oh, is that Isn't that Mia's plant?
What?
Yeah, I believe so.
Oh wow, they moved it. Daddy's mentor had a great fondness of that. Yeah, Daddy's mentor had a great fondness of Mr. Charlie.
Well,
He's lived here
that's your
since
answer.
Daddy was a rookie attorney. Huh? Mr. Charlie. Right. Now I take care of him. Oh, I do miss Mia. A strange split box leers at me from the wall. Is this one of those boxes for cutting people in half? Oh, that's right. This cabinet is used for an illusion called the zigzag. I've seen one on TV, but why is just one sitting here in your office? Oh, it's just a little big for me, you see. So I'm using it as furniture. Hats in the top, shirts in the middle, and pants down the below. I think it's a nice touch, don't you? It's not exactly what I'd call a welcoming decor. All these legal books must be Mr. Wright's leftovers. There's a lot of unrelated books in here too. One trick a day, magic for idiots. You'd think a pro magician would aim a bit higher. Right, is that everything examined?
Just magic for idiots.
Should have a book called Marshmallow for Idiots. Alright, I think we're done. Okay. So what happened? You could have imagined it. Me, victim of a hit and run. You were hit by a car? Oh, he tried to swerve, I'll give him that. Picture me toss 30 feet through the air. Only stopping when my head hit the telephone pole. You hit a telephone pole with your head? Are you okay? Well, thankfully, my only injury was a sprained ankle. He really is a lucky, as they say. There's something that, well, doesn't sit right. I can't just believe you were a daughter, Mr. I can't just believe you have a daughter, Mr. Wright. And she's so big, but not fat, but you know what I mean. Oh, Tracy's still a child. Daddy, how many times do I have to remind you? I'm not a child anymore. But you always be Daddy's little baby girl to me, Tracy. My foot. I'm not buying it. Oh, something you should know about Tracy. She's a magician, right? She told me. Not a mere stage magician. She's a genius. Oh, Daddy. You'll soon come to appreciate her talent. You could just tell me things instead of insinuating them. So, why did you contact me? What could the right talent agency possibly want with me? No need to get prickly now. Hey, I didn't ask to be dragged in like this. Oh, but didn't you come into the office of your own free will anyway? Well, yeah, of course. He's a dad, so he may have some of those jokes. Help, we're in big trouble here at the office. Big. I thought someone was dying. So you don't think this was so you don't think this was big trouble? Our talent agency represents only 2 people. and only one of them is in hospital. Oh, that's right, Daddy. How are we going to pay this month's rent and the groceries? Yeah, that's the problem with such a tight operation. This symbiotic relationship when one of us falls, the other two must fall. Hey, this isn't exactly a suitable conversation to be having with a 15-year-old kid. In any case, if Apollo here can't help you, you have to transfer to a new school again. Oh, I can't. I only just made friends. How could you do this to me? To us, Polly? Huh? What? Now it's my fault. On that note, how about you come work for us? I've got the perfect client for you already lined up. A client? You mean I get to do my job? I get to defend in court? Alright, I hear what you have to say. You got him, Daddy. Hook, line and sinker. Now it's time to reel him in. It's official. I'm scared.
It's just,
right.
It's official.
So who's the client? Oh yes, here. Take a look at the map and I'll explain. Last night I left the office just before 9 o'clock. I was going to that Indochine pasta joint, Alden Tellez. I play piano there, of course. That's when it happened. The car sent me flying, nicked a telephone pole, and zoomed away. Creepy, huh? Just a tad. It's almost as creepy as hearing you tell the story like it was no big deal. The car sped off in this direction. So, good luck. Huh? You wanted a client, didn't you? Well, I'm your client. I'm the guy who knocked me into the telephone pole. Oh, hold on. I'm a defense attorney, not a detective. Well, don't worry. Once you find the guy, I intend to sue him. Then you can stick it to him in court. I'm not a prosecutor either. I'm sorry, but this is crazy. I'm going home. Don't get so worked up. It was just a joke. Huh? Oh, Daddy. Sorry, Apollo. He just loves jokes, you know. Even the ones that aren't very funny. Your real client should be stopping by the office anytime soon. The office? You mean the intelligence agency? No harm in going. It's not like I have anything else to do. One more thing. Do look into any accident. Do look into my accident too, would you? Mark the scene of the tragedy on this map. It's right in front of this park. Should be easy to find. So he's going to make me investigate this after all. The hell was showing on TV anyway? Looks
like looks like monsters versus machines.
What's that on TV? Looks like some sort of action hero show. Oh, I know that one. That's a sniffling samurai. Sniffling samurai.
Oh no.
His booger flick attack is a big hit with the grade school crowd. I had no idea you like this kind of stuff, Mr. Wright. Well, what else is there to do when you're stuck in bed? Besides, the episodes will just keep piling up if I don't keep up, you know? Yeah. Try not buying them. Now's the only time I get to watch and write up my reports. Your reports? Oh, it's a long story. Like a lot of things, actually. Jesus Christ, all these, what the hell? Swaying spirals, stacks of DVD cases. The steel samurai, the nickel samurai. Oh my god! The pink princess, the zappy samurai, electric boogaloo, boogaboo. They're all children's action hero shows. This kid I know keeps sending them to me. Huh? Like a niece or nephew? Something like that.
I know who he's talking about there.
Either Maya or Pearls.
I'm believe it. Considering kid is the phrase used, it would probably be pearls.
Quite a collection. This kid's parents must be really generous with their allowance. Funny, Mr. Wright doesn't seem that type that kids would like. Dibs on
look,
being the pink princess.
Oh look, his favorite bottle.
Ah, Daddy, you snuck some grape juice in again? The doctor said you weren't supposed to drink that here. Tracy, look at the label. Oh. Deep sea mineral water. Well, that's fine, I guess. I switched the labels. Don't tell Tracy, K. What can I say? The man loves his grape juice. Look at the little pink piano, Timby.
I know.
This looks like a child's toy piano. I gotta practice. One of my fingers will get stiff. A pro always keeps his weapon close at hand. Shall I play you a tune? No thanks. Oh, unfortunate. I so rarely get a chance to play. Jesus Christ. Alright. I guess we just make a move somewhere else. Alright, so who's our client? What?
It is 10 o'clock now.
Oh, for fuck. Alright,
So we can either just save it here and then come back to it later on, or just finish this scene.
finish this bit. Hey! How long are you planning on making me wait, eh? Hey? Ah, good morning. Oh, God. Hey there, Trushy doll. Sounds like your pop's had a bit of a rough spot, eh? Oh, all's well that ends well, I guess. This is our client. Hey, so this is that... So, this is that Apollo fella, eh? Oh, yes. The name's Apollo. Look at him there. Arms all crossed like ready to fight. Yes, sir. You don't mean that literally, do you? The boss told you that what I need, right? Don't let me down now, Apollo. And don't worry about your defense, sir. I'm on it. Defense? Your noodle half cooked? It's too late for a defense. My castle's been stormed. My key's being kept. My noodle stand is being stolen. Noodle? You know Mr. Eldon from the noodle stand, don't you, Polly? No nicknames, please. And no, of course I don't know him. You know in these parts? Not really. You know the best noodles in town. Eldon's Noodles. Whose noodles? My noodles. Help me out here, Trusy doll. This is Mr. Guy Aldoon, our client. Maybe you can tell us what the problem is, Mr. Aldoon.
Oh, Jesus.
Anything for you, Trusy doll? Oh boy.
And his hair is noodles. You know he's crazy for Cocoa Puffs.
Well, you know he has to be bald because he just has the entire fucking noodle bowl on his face.
You know what? When I think of noodles, I miss Gumshoe.
Yeah, it's sad we don't have Gumshoe anymore. Not even like a passing remark.
Oh no, sadly.
No, he just kind of dropped off the face of the earth.
Unless we're gonna get the those age. What?
Before we pass away onto tomorrow's stream, I do have one bit of good news because I remember seeing this on my timeline at some point. They have actually made a statement that there doesn't seem to be a end for the Phoenix Wright games yet.
Oh, good.
So that means we do have more in the future.
Oh, thank God.
Woohoo!
Please bring him
With all
back.
the fucking shenanigans.
Please bring Gumshoe back.
Like, even if he just ends up being like a side character, that would just be nice.
Yeah.
Or heck, he could be the defendant.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Or just back to the comic relief.
Well, he could still be the comic relief even as the defendant, let's be honest.
Fair.
Yeah, anyway, we do hope you enjoy. Hope to see you all tomorrow. See you guys later. Bye-bye for now.
Take care, guys.
Dimby.
What?
Say-
Bye-bye! Stop being mean to me!